Good morning, good morning. What's up? What's up? To first, I like to always give a shout out to my subscribers and viewers for viewing and subscribing to my channel. Please continue to like, share, and comment. Hit that little button too. Happy 4th of July weekend to y'all, man. This is the first that I'm going to spend without my mom. And, every holiday it gets better, but, we'll see what happens. I also want to definitely shout out two of my brothers. One, I gave him a shout out, I shout him out during the last video, but I'm gonna shout him out again and say thank you to Big O, and also to my big brother Mark McGurn, and his twin Marvin McGurn. I say that with laughter because they are identical twins like me and my brother. So we grew up watching them and kind of mimicking some of the things that we learned from them throughout the course of our life. And they've always been there for us throughout anything. Mark is also the godfather of my baby girl too. So I thank God for those guys, man. Because whenever we call them, they always right there. They've been there to see us get married and everything. So I just really want to send my thank yous to these guys, because they were two, Mark and Olin, that encouraged me to continue with this. I also have a radio show that I haven't been on in like decades. It's been a while, and they've always encouraged me to keep on going, that I would eventually make a positive, I would just put some positive things out there and make an impact in someone's life. So I thank God for those type of people, because sometimes we can actually stop something and not realizing that it is a blessing to others and it is a testimony. Okay? Now we're going to continue on marriage, y'all. Alright? I'm going to call this, stop coming into marriage with obligations. Okay? Stop coming in the marriage with obligations. Alright? Now, I always give a scenario of what I've been through, and then we can give, I guess, some examples of what's going on out there in the world and what we see. Okay? So, here goes. Myself, when I got married the first time, I want to say like right before I proposed to my first wife, I had a lot of options, and I probably hurt a few people because of that. But I knew I wanted to marry her, so I had to cut everything off. And even if it hurt some people's feelings, it was what God wanted from me at that specific time. So I just did what I had to do. So no, I did not go into that first marriage with obligations, but the obligations came about during the marriage, and we'll get into that. Okay? My second marriage, totally no way. You know what I mean? That was something that I definitely wanted. I was building my family, and I just thought that the other person wanted it too. So no obligations here, no obligations whatsoever. I was definitely dedicated to the very end. On the other side, flip side, in the first marriage, did I think that my significant other, my wife, had any obligations? She didn't display it. So if there were, she didn't display it until we both started doing things in the marriage, and then that's when the obligation started. So I guess it was like almost the same thing. With my second wife, did she show? No, she didn't show either. I can honestly say she didn't. Um, there were suspicion. I can say it was some suspicion going on, but I couldn't really tell because I was dealing with my own thing, and trying to really get myself back up on my feet was the main thing that I was worried about. So I accepted whatever was given to me, and you know, that one was a tough one. But we'll get back into that too. Okay, so what are you saying, Kenton? Get ready because I'm about to get real raw with it. All right. If you are going into the marriage with obligations, it is totally wrong. It is totally unacceptable. You are already going in cheating mentally. Okay? That means that person never had a chance whatsoever. They never had a chance whatsoever at all. And by you not saying that to them, you're being selfish when you do that. And people do that all the time. They feel like, I got to keep something on the side so that just in case something happens, that's there for me. That's why they do that. And that's wrong. I can never do that to somebody right off the bat. It has to be a reason on why I did what I did. Just like I spoke about it in the last video. Without the consummation, there is no marriage. So unless that happens, if you going in with the thought of other people, or you're keeping in touch with other people, you're totally wrong and you're already cheating. I'm going to just be straight up and tell you like that. I can't get no more rawer than that. You are wrong if you're going in still connected to someone else or other people. All right? That's even the texting, the calling, the secret calling, because people do it. Y'all do it, okay? Secretly, I'm going to call you, or maybe even an email or something like that. Okay? That's obligation. Straight up, I cannot make this stuff up. Okay? I can't make it up. So, now, you're in the marriage. You know what I mean? And the obligations start to reoccur. What do? Okay? You cut it off right then and there. You don't allow it to come into your marriage. Cut it off. You do not sit there and listen to what that person is trying to put into your ears. Don't you know that that's what they want to do? That is their job, to try to get you away from your mate. That's the only thing, and they get a thrill out of it. Let me see if I can take them away from that dude. Don't you know, now you setting that person up to fornicate too against that marriage. So now they in trouble with God too. Or the great being, whatever you want to call it. They in trouble too. Because they entered into that marriage and basically unlawfully. Let's keep it real. And their thought of motive behind it was to take you or get you away from your mate. So you let them in already. You done opened up the can of worms. You know what I mean? Now that they in, and it's starting to get heated and hot, what you gonna do now? A lot of us try to keep it going. Let me see how far this gonna go. You already know how far it's gonna go. You gonna cheat? Because like I said in my last video, the flesh is weak. All right? So if it ain't hot in your marriage, what do you think is going to happen in a situation with someone else? Right from the very start, you have to cut it out. You don't give them no information about your mate. You do not do that. That is totally wrong. Okay? I messed up the first time doing that. Like, honestly, I lie not to you. My first marriage, I let probably Two people in. Two people in that I got serious with. And letting them in on certain things that was going on in the marriage was wrong. It was wrong. Totally wrong. And I was so far in with the other person that I fell in love. So that person ended up getting exactly what they wanted. Honestly, it was too late. I'm just keeping it real. It happens, y'all. It happens. And the only people we can blame is ourselves. You can't blame your significant other. You can't blame your girlfriends. You can't blame your homeboys. None of that. Blame yourself. Let me say this. One thing I can honestly say, my friends never led me astray. They never tried to hook me up with girls or anything. Any dirt I did it by myself. I did it on my own. They never played any parts in it. I would never allow them to do it. I don't care who they were and what was going on. And I kept a lot of people around me. I like to say I had an entourage. Whenever I went out, yo, we going out, let's go. Even if you ain't got let's go, we going out. That was something that I always had, was people around me whenever I went somewhere. So they can definitely vouch for me and say, yo, he did that on his own. I ain't never have nothing to do with that. They never got numbers for me. They never told any girls to come here. They never, none of that. That was me, all me. Honestly, I could be honest enough to say that. So, now, dealing with the opposite side, I mean, to be perfectly honest, when obligations came in, I believe my first wife, she held me down. I never seen none of it until years later. This was like towards almost like maybe the last 3 to 4 years of the marriage, probably, when everything started to be unfolded and exposed. And it hurt, but I had to take those shots. What you gonna do? You do dirt, you get dirt back. So what did we do? We found ourselves again. We went away. We fell in love again. Time after time again, I could fall in love with that woman, and it wasn't no problem. You know what I mean? It wasn't no problem at all. That's just something that we had with one another. Because we were still young. We were still learning, and, you know, and growing. So, I shook it off. She shook it off. That was it. Like I said in my last video, that ended because I went too far. I'm just going to say it straight up. I went too far. And I went far enough where that was it. You know, I fell in love with someone else. So it was like, now and then, you know, I'll get into my other situation later, but it just happened like that. It was nothing I could do. So I cut the tie so that she wouldn't have to go through that. You know what I mean? See, and that's what I'm telling y'all. Sometimes you get yourselves in a situation where you can't get out of. Can't get out of. That's why you don't put yourself in that situation. Dealing with the second one, I can say that one of the things that I can say was, she was always real and upfront, straight up. It was like raw. Like, this is who I am. Love me or like me for who I am. That's it. For real, for real. Was it cold-hearted at times? Yes. Definitely. You know what I mean? Because it was like I'm me. Like, I'm more like a teddy bear trying to love you, and You know, when you raw, you raw. That was my dad, straight up. That's who he was. That's what you was going to get. You know what I mean? So I met someone almost identical to my father. Seriously. And the thing is, I never really seen it, but I can say that I suspected it, and it was never brought to the forefront. That's the only thing I could say. You know, versus, you know, what I had with my first wife. You know, if we were in a situation, or like they say, when you caught, you caught. Okay? When you're caught, you're caught. There's nothing you can do. Just be honest. Just be honest. That's it. And my first wife and I, we were honest with one another, so it saved the marriage a little longer. You know, yeah, that's what happened, and, you know, blase, and if we got details, we got details. If we didn't, we didn't. That was it. Okay? I didn't have that with the second one. It was like, if that's what it was, that's what it was. Nothing. So I learned how to deal with it. You know what I mean? I honestly, for a long period of time, I just thought that it was karma coming back for me. And that's the truth, y'all. It goes down dirty when you do certain things to people that you don't want done to you. And I'm going to get into that later too. Later on. So what you saying, Kenton? Bottom line is, you see what happens when you open that door and you let that person in? That's what happens. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. There is no way that person should have any access to you in that manner. And if they do, it's because you allow it to happen. Seriously. With my second wife, right from the jump, anybody that called me from the past, I shut it down. I shut it down. I had to. You know, because I knew the type of person she was. And I knew that if she caught any of that, I'm in trouble. And that's what I tried to tell everybody through on the first video, or the video before this. I was caught. I had someone that held me accountable for everything that I did, and I needed that for my life, because I was a wild bull back in my 20s. I was doing things that I know wasn't right. I know that a married man shouldn't do. Honestly. So when I got married the second time, I said, I needed this. Like, it was something that I needed. And I loved it. Like, it was cool for me. I was okay where I was, you know. Was it hard? Yeah, it was. But I took those shots and I kept it moving. You know what I mean? There was things that definitely could have been better on both ends. And I'll get into that more. But that's what happens when you let it in, y'all. Y'all got to leave that alone at the door. Do not allow it to come in and fester into your marriage. When you knock on the devil's door enough, eventually he coming in. That's it. That's all I can tell y'all. And once they in, they will try their hardest to get you away from your mate. They are definitely there to implant things. Because let me tell you what you did. And you ain't got to lie about it, because I already know. Let me tell you what you did. You probably told them, yeah, he or she, oh yeah, they don't take out the trash, or he ain't buying me this. All he want to do is lay on the couch. All she want to do is All she want to do is argue all the time. She arguing about this, she arguing about that. Don't you know they'll listen to you? They taking all that in just to get closer, 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 so eventually, oh, really? She doing you like that? Oh, see, I like to cook and clean and then he telling you, yeah, you know, oh, he doing you like that? Man, if I had you, we'd be going, you know, on an island. You wouldn't have to pay for nothing. That strikes your attention. It raises a man's ego. Because let me say this to you guys. And I'm gonna talk more. Sorry about that. I'm gonna talk more about that in the future too. But you husbands, embrace and encourage your mate every day of your life. Tell her something good about herself. If she's beautiful, or tell her that she's sexy. Whatever you had to do to get her, you have to continue that journey. That is the only way your marriage is safe. Okay? So continue to do that. Don't stop. Don't get comfortable, because there's other people out here that's going okay? Don't get comfortable. Embrace her every day. All right? Tell her those things. Please do not curse, yell at her. I'm going to tell you straight up. All right? I'm going to tell you straight up. If you have to talk, and this is for my guys, because I'm going to get with you women in a second. Y'all got some stuff with y'all too. But for my guys, if you have to yell and talk to her the same way that you defend her, that's a problem. And I want you to think about what I just said. If you have to talk to her and yell at her the way that you have to defend her, that is a problem for her. She is now scared of you. She is now scared to come to you. It took me a long time to figure that out, honestly. So I'm a different man now. Now it's like, can't get under my skin. You know what I mean? We have to take that term, and I used to think that older people was kind of crazy for saying that. Happy wife, happy life. Take that. That's for my guys. All right? Take that. Now for you ladies, I'm going to get with y'all too. All right? Because you will stomp on a man's pride. Y'all don't think about what you say to us just as much as we may not do to you. But you will stomp on a man's pride just by saying to him, he's not doing enough. Okay? Or calling him names that you probably shouldn't even say to him in the first place. When he comes home from work, a hard day, and you already home before him, embrace him. Let him know that you're grateful for him going out and providing for the family. Do you know how hard that is as a man? And I'm not stereotyping it. That for a man, it is hard every day. We are supposed to be the protectors and the providers, regardless of anything. Regardless of anything. So it's hard for us out here. It literally is. We need to feel that love when we come home. Sometimes we just want, hey, take our shoes off. Like, hey, what did Beyonce say? Cater them. Cater to him. Cater to that man. You better do it. You don't want some other chick to see that you ain't doing it and she step up, hey, come to my house. I'll take your shoes off, give you a back rub, everything. Okay? I don't know, and I'll tell you guys, I got counseling after my second marriage. I got counseling, and it helped me out very well. Um, it allowed me to see that, I mean, I was accused of something that I didn't do in my second marriage, and I was like, that ain't me. That literally ain't me. You know, did I have I want to say a bad mouth? Yes, I did. But you had to push me to that limit. I believe that abuse is straight up when somebody is just saying things to you mean every day. That wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't me at all. I could never do that to anybody. That is bad. But when we argued, the bad words and everything came out. So, you know what I learned? I can't argue with that person. You know, what I did learn is more self-control through my arguments. I don't aim to put someone down. And I'm telling y'all all that straight up. Do not put your partner down. Do not lowball them in the argument. All right? If you cannot argue fair, shut up. Just shut up. Don't say anything. All right? Because you're going to say something that she is going to always remember. A woman will remember that until the day they die. They never let it go. They never let it go. Okay? Unless they see a change, they may not say nothing about it, but it's still right here. And you do something, it's going to trigger it. It's going to trigger it, I promise you. Alright? So I'm letting y'all men know that. Just watch what you say. If you feel like you can't, just come back. One of the things I learned in my counseling, and this is the best thing that it works for me. I don't know if it'll work for y'all, but he said to me, argue by yourself. That way, when you get around that person, you ain't got nothing to argue about. It works for me all the time, y'all. Honestly, it works. I can now tune out just about anybody, and I'll smile. I might even laugh about the situation, like seriously. And y'all know whoever know me, know that I like to laugh and joke, but I don't have time. I feel like in arguments, no one ever wins anyway, so why argue? You're going back and forth, I'm going back and forth, and it doesn't make sense after a while. And I know we got off topic just a little bit, but I feel like I covered that part already, so I'm just letting y'all know. I'm giving y'all some key points to try to implement into your situation right now. Seriously. If you losing it, you can still get it back. You just gotta be willing to change. Honestly. You know, I could say just recently, the co-parenting with me and my second wife has gotten better. So we, after a year and a half of being away, and then after like maybe 6 months after our official divorce, we were able to be around each other and, you know, do things as a family. But she noticed that change in me right away. You know, I don't want to argue with you. Yeah, I kind of think where arguments got me, and I kind of felt like a lot of it was unfair, but I was just like, I'm not gonna argue. I'm good. You know what I mean? And it doesn't bother me. Like, I ain't even care, you know, if at times she got upset, because I handled it and I knew how to handle the situation. I was already prepared. One of the things I prayed for in that situation, I asked God to prepare me to be around her. I didn't ask him to change me. I said, prepare me to be around her. And he did. Because I was already changing myself. You gotta want to change yourself in order to be a better person. Do not try to change her, and do not try to change him. Y'all only gonna hate each other for it. Let them change themselves, change on their own. Let them change themselves on their own. Because if you keep forcing it, they are going to hate you. They are going to resent you. You are going to run that person out of your life. I guarantee y'all going to go into some marital problems because of that. People do that all the time. And I know I'm going over my time. I wanted to keep it at 30. But stop trying to change each other. Change comes within. And if you see that they still not where you need them to be, you got to do what you got to do for you. You still deserve to be happy at the end of the day. I deserve happiness. I deserve to be married. Still, after 2 marriages, I still want it for myself. So, I'm glad that I said that. I hope I ain't pissing nobody off. It's not to piss anybody off. I always say that about these videos. It's so that other people can get something out of it in their own situation. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Enjoy y'all weekend. It is 4th of July weekend, so I thank you for watching, and being a part. I will be back on probably tomorrow evening sometime with another video, and we'll see what it's going to be about. Love y'all. Peace.